So let's get to it about Wheel of Fortune. In many seasons, we started off with Chuck Woolery as the host of Wheel of Fortune. I don't even know why, but it was okay if Chuck Woolery kept on hosting.
But my question is for Chuck.
Yes.
I was also on Wheel of Fortune when you were on. I thought you were great. I want to know why you left.
Oh gosh. I left basically because of money. My contract was up after 7 years, and I felt like they didn't pay me enough, and I made them an offer that they could refuse, and guess what?
But Pat Sajak didn't even know anything about the weather, so he became the host of Wheel of Fortune.
I have no interest in the subject. First, also, we're in Southern California, where
7 days easy.
7 months a year there is no weather. So, I'm just standing there blabbing. I had no idea what I'm talking about. And Merv called me and asked if I was interested, and I honestly had to run to the set and find it to turn it on to see what it was about. And it's odd. I remember doing that and watching the show, and I thought, there's nothing for me to do. I really thought that.
But Pat Sajak was really good at hosting Wheel of Fortune.
My brain doesn't retain information very much. A lot of stuff drips out. In fact, if you're very quiet, you can actually hear my brain cells dying and hitting the floor. Listen. Hear that?
Oh, there it is.
And that's why Vanna White became the new hostess of Wheel of Fortune.
I literally walked out, turned the letters and said goodbye at the end, and Merv Griffin said, "You're the one."
Really?
Thank you.
She never misses the letters.
The thing I do most is spin. Do you know what that is?
Spinning classes, yes.
Yes, I've done that for years, and I do that about 5 days a week.
For how long?
45 minutes.
That's ridiculous.
It is.
I've looked at it, and I could never.
It's so hard.
But the good news is the Wheel of Fortune has been the growing phenomenon since the get-go. They brought in the new board in 1997. Well, if you know this new board in 1997, Wheel of Fortune has been our rock since the get-go. But Wheel of Fortune has been on our rock since the day it showed up here. So Wheel of Fortune has been the history in the making. Like Alex Trebek and Maggie Sajak's mother, Leslie Sajak.
Pat and I had the good sense to marry young, beautiful, intelligent brunettes who have brought a measure of stability to our lives. Now, I know Pat likes to have a lot of fun, but what about you? Do you ever play April Fool jokes on people?
Yes, I do. As a matter of fact, I did today. I called Vanna at home, and I told her not to come into work today because the taping's been canceled. I'm just kidding.
That explains it. Are you nervous about this?
No, not really. Are you?
Well, you've done this show before, right?
I've done the prizes and some of the openings and little things like that.
Vanna White never misses the letters up to the beat.
And then we'd start taping again.
But I didn't even know that had to make her job very easy.
I didn't want to get that thing in my wrist, right?
Carpal tunnel.
Yes, I didn't want to get that. But, actually, I had no idea they were changing it. I didn't ask them to change it to make my job easier, but they did because it's easier on the production.
But there's one thing in the history books. This kid had a lung disease because he grew up watching Wheel of Fortune, and his goal was to meet both Pat Sajak and Vanna White.
Doctor said the echo's getting worse, so we're just taking it slow and doing everything we can.
Does Wheel of Fortune help you feel better?
It's just a show.
Do you want to come see the studio?
Sure.
You ready?
Right here.
They made us laugh.
Holy moly!
Hey, Eric, how are you? It's Pat and Vanna.
Hi, Pat. Hi, Vanna White.
So, listen,
Hi!
I thought your wave to Vanna was much more excited than mine. And we're glad you're here. Now, you've been watching Wheel of Fortune for a long time, right?
Yep.
Are you a good player?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Vanna, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How do you get the letters up on the puzzle?
It's like magic. These fingers make these letters light up. He can try,
Look, nothing happens when nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. It's not funny, Eric.
That is some video of Chuck Woolery on Wheel of Fortune in what year?
Back in the day, probably in the 70s, I'm sure.
Yeah, Chuck, I remember that. In fact, then you would have to go shopping. You'd go shopping right after.
Yeah, in the first few years, we had to, you'd accumulate cash, and then you would go shopping for a car. I actually gave away an airplane and a Mercedes. I mean, we gave away great stuff. And
wow.
Van Cleef and Arpels introduced them to the country. Gucci. Nobody had ever.
Why did you leave the show?
Well, we just had a little dispute, Merv and I. He wanted to pay me.
Nothing?
My 7 years are up. Actually, I should have stayed. I mean, I really did. If it wasn't for Merv, I wouldn't have had a career. He saw me, you know, in the lineup and just picked me out and said, well, I think you'd be a good host. I had no idea what he was talking about. So, yeah, he really did give me my career. I have to be thankful for that. But I should have stayed because I'd be in a G4 instead of a Cessna 182.
Cessna 182 is not bad.
And guess what? And guess who was also the special guest letter toucher? Is none other than Maggie Sajak. While Vanna White was hosting and Pat Sajak was taking some time off.
And you have not changed at all.
No, not at all.
Not at all. You're so adorable.
Thank you.
You are. And now you're up there.
Yeah.
Walking.
It's even more fun. I know, I'm walking a little better now, and hopefully I'm a little more eloquent than last time.
Charlie O'Donnell has become the announcer of Wheel of Fortune since 1989.
Well, I'm starting my 28th season with Wheel of Fortune, if you can believe that. You should find a gig someday in your life that's as good as this.
Jim Thornton was the announcer of Wheel of Fortune. He knows about announcing Wheel of Fortune.
Last season, you helped us a lot through the transition, which we appreciate, and we're so delighted that you're here with us.
Well, I'm just glad to be here. Everybody's been so nice at Wheel of Fortune, you know.
So you got this great voice, and those of you who live in Southern California know, if you listen to news radio, you know Jim, because you were with a particular station for, what, how long?
Like 25 years.
And also Johnny Gilbert. He was also the announcer of Wheel of Fortune.
I was born and raised in Virginia, actually raised in the Newport News area, and I think I always knew I had some talent. How much, you don't always know. I loved singing. I used to work with little bands that would work around on the weekends in Newport News. I'd carry their instruments and their horns and so forth and their sound equipment so that they would let me sing a few songs with their band. This has come from my album, Try a Little Tenderness, Memphis, and one I recorded upstairs, yeah.
People rely on us for the kind of entertainment that's family-friendly and that's fun and challenging at the same time.
This certainly has, and it has a big payoff, but it's fun. And I think over the years we've become a family of sorts, you know, with Pat and Vanna. I think people kind of accept us into their home. Not me as much as Pat and Vanna because they don't see me, but they love these two people. They really do.
Thanks to all our wonderful viewers that enjoy it and watch our show and still watching. Without you, we wouldn't be here. Thank you.
Fun videos, so click above to subscribe now.